Okay, so this has really happened. AI just killed SEO. Now, where Google and SEO have been fading since 2015, now AI is on the scene and they've drastically sped things up. SEO companies are kind of in a holding pattern, wondering what do we do? But others actually have some answers. If you are still using old tactics, you are going to be invisible. So the first thing that I'm going to do in this episode is paint a picture of the shift so that you can really have clarity and so that you can see what's going on. Then we're going to be talking about the tactics and going through and doing some rapid fire myth busting so that you can know what's true and what's not true. I'll then jump into some practical applications so you can know what you can actually do to get results and get ranking on Google, get ranking on YouTube, get ranking in ChatGPT. By the end of this episode, you'll have a lot more clarity about SEO, knowing what doesn't work anymore, what works and what works really well today. So let's dive right in. A few weeks ago, I attended a conference for all the biggest SEO companies around the world. Now, for a part of this conference, many of these companies had the opportunity to take the stage and share the latest and greatest. There was one message that they had in common. 100% of these companies came to agreement on one thing, and that is that Google is no longer the focus of SEO. And that's kind of insane because Google has been the 100% focus of SEO. There are a ton of AI tools out there, but the biggest new focus for SEO now is ChatGPT and trying to figure out how do we get our content to rank in ChatGPT results. Now, something that everyone was not unified on is how to do this. A lot of these companies were kind of scratching their heads saying, we are in a holding pattern, we need to wait and see, we need to figure this out. But there were some who were talking and were giving answers, and my ears started to pick up because a strategy that I've been doing for many, many years is what a lot of people were hinting at that they needed to shift to. Now, you're going to hear some new terms coming out. Instead of SEO for search engine optimization, you're going to hear generative engine optimization, so GEO, or you're going to hear answer engine optimization, AEO. You might hear several more. These are the two that have become the most popular, and I have seen these ones circulating around. But here's the core idea, and here's what I've been seeing changing even with Google since 2015. 2015 and prior, Google was a website search engine. But in the last decade, it's transitioned from being a website search engine into a content search engine. And now, what is ChatGPT? It's definitely a content search engine. Now, it's brilliant, it's a tool, and it works in a very different way than Google. Now, I want to be clear on a couple of things. I'm not saying that Google is dead because Google actually gets way more traffic than ChatGPT. So the number one website currently is still Google, and Google has grown in the last year. The number two website is YouTube. The number three website is Facebook. Then I think it's Instagram, and then it's ChatGPT. So Google is still being heavily used, but ChatGPT has come out of nowhere seemingly. And in a matter of just a couple of years, it's amassed a huge following. There are a lot of people that love that tool. Now, compared to all the other AI tools, ChatGPT is the one that gets used the most, so that's why I'm talking about it. So Google's transitioned from websites to content, and now we're hearing terms like generative engine optimization and answer engine optimization. The core strategies, instead of focusing on your content or ranking your website through keywords, we're focusing on the people that are using these tools and figuring out what are the questions, what are the struggles, what are the challenges that they are searching for. Let's address some common myths or misconceptions that people have about SEO still today. Myth number one, SEO equals keywords and blogs. So the reality is that AI ignores this. AI doesn't care about blogs, and I'll come back to blogs in a minute. AI doesn't care about keyword density. They don't care about links or link building or authority linking back to things. AI is looking for answers. Okay, ChatGPT is looking for answers to the people's questions that are typing things into ChatGPT. Myth number two, only big brands get surfaced. This is just not the truth. Small companies are outranking the big ones. ChatGPT pays no attention to the size of a company or the size of the answer. It doesn't even look at the company. It's looking again for answers. Myth number three, AI reads your site word for word. AI is leveraging all the other tools that are out there. So if your website has content that's ranking at the top of Google, or if you have videos that are ranking at the top of YouTube, ChatGPT is going to hone in on those and ignore everything else. I find it kind of ironic that SEO companies are abandoning Google, wanting to focus on ChatGPT, and yet Google is one of the resources that ChatGPT heavily relies upon. But over the last decade, I have found that there is a better way to get content ranking at the top of Google than by focusing on Google SEO. Google SEO has just really been fading fast. And what's really exciting to see is my clients that I've been producing their YouTube channels for, they've been getting a lot of referrals and a lot of recommendations from ChatGPT. And what we've been doing has been filming content that'll rank at the top of YouTube, and this content automatically ranks at the top of Google, and now it's automatically ranking at the top of ChatGPT. Now this isn't viral views, this isn't entertaining content, but this is content that turns into lead generation. My clients have been generating leads from ChatGPT and other tools like Perplexity, but the biggest one is ChatGPT. There are a few reasons why video content wins, why video content works so well. Video and video transcripts really answer questions thoroughly. At least that's the type of content that ChatGPT searches for, is video content that answers questions. So if you've created promotional content or entertaining content, that type of content doesn't get recommended as much from ChatGPT. And that type of content will never generate leads, but the content that provides answers. So video content is a great way to provide those answers. Now, another reason is when we look at all the different content platforms, whether we're looking at YouTube or social sites like Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, a lot of content, even content with answers, gets posted to those sites. However, none of them except YouTube have a content search engine. So if I post an amazing article or video on LinkedIn, no one can go into the search bar and find that article or video by topic. It can only be searched for by the person's name. So that's not helpful at all to us, and it's not helpful at all to ChatGPT. But every educational and helpful video that's uploaded to YouTube, it's indexed and it's searchable by YouTube. And it's also therefore searchable by Google and by ChatGPT. I hope one day platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook will wise up, but it's going to be a big shift for them to change their entire platform to add a content search engine. YouTube had that content search engine built from the foundation up. So when you make an educational video that you can rank at the top of YouTube search, ChatGPT can take the transcript of that video and use that as training data for the algorithm, or what's the new word that's used today, for this AI brain. So the SEO world is now catching up. They're starting to get wind of this awesome strategy in video and in YouTube. The cool thing is, I've been running with this strategy for 12 years now. So I've really refined the leaf strategy. Many of you on this channel have heard about the leaf strategy. There's been some upgrades and improvements in the last year and a half, but it is working better today than it ever has been. We're actually dominating entire niches on YouTube and on Google and now in ChatGPT. So some practical takeaways is stop focusing on keywords like we did for website SEO. Instead, focus on very specific questions that your target audience is asking. This will create evergreen content that will not only rank at the top of these search engines in ChatGPT, but that'll stay there for years to come. Now, how can I say that? Because ChatGPT is so new. Content that I filmed 12 years ago following my leaf strategy is being recommended on ChatGPT today, but it doesn't have to be old content. Content that I filmed recently in the last couple of months is being recommended on ChatGPT. It's the strategy that makes it happen. So those who follow this strategy and build this system, this lead generating system, will own their niche for years and will be generating leads in their business for years. So let's see if you can answer this question. If AI just killed SEO, what has replaced it? That's the leaf strategy. Now, my leaf strategy has 5 ingredients. I want to teach these ingredients to you, so I've created another episode. It's called The Leaf Strategy, How to Rank #1 on YouTube, okay? But this isn't just about YouTube. YouTube is the first step. So if you can get your videos to rank #1 on YouTube, guess where you also will then rank? Yeah, you will rank at the top of Google and you will rank on ChatGPT. So in this next episode, I show you how to create evergreen, question-driven videos that get found everywhere. I will see you in that next episode. It's called The Leaf Strategy, How to Rank #1 on YouTube.